I've officially lost my mind because I reread Twilight as an adult. Now, I have a kind of weird relationship with these books because when I was growing up and, you know, I was a little bookworm, my mom, you know, knew I liked to read. She didn't really, like, understand what I liked to read, so she just picked up the book and was like, here you go, and then she periodically bought me the rest of the series. And I thought it was like a nice like thing because Haitian parents usually aren't super affectionate and don't really care about like, you know, stuff like that. So I thought it was really sweet of her. So these books have a really special place in my heart, even though they're not everyone's cup of tea. Not that I love them or anything, but I do think there are some like good aspects of them. And I just think a lot of the stigma has to do with the fact that we can't let teenage girls like anything without making fun of them. As far as like, I know there's some issues of like romanticizing abuse. I don't know if I see that so much in this book. It might be in some of the other books. And again, I don't know if I'm going to like continue with the rest of the series rereading them. I might, because you know, self-isolation and there's nothing else to do with my time but Animal Crossing. We shall see. Also, the movies. I do remember distinctly going to go see both Breaking Dawns in the theater with my mom. Yeah, because that's totally the kind of movie you watch with your mom. But the other ones, I feel like I like vaguely pieced together from like random reruns on TV or just like Tumblr. Because let's face it, Tumblr posts about Twilight are like the best thing in the world. Like Twilight's one of those things that's so bad, it's good. I will say, reading it again, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Do I think Bella has the personality of a gray towel? Yes. I think that's an issue with her character and not anything on like, I think that's just an issue with the writing. But the rest of the book is great. Like, especially the pacing. I was really shook. I really liked the pacing. The pacing was amazing up until the point where they meet James and stuff, and then, you know, he starts tracking her, and then everything just goes ape shit, and everything just happens really fast. Chronologically, time-wise, there's, like, you know, stuff in between, but it, like, all of it just, like, really fast. I felt like the pacing was really good because, you know, it's realistic. Like, she adjusts to a new school, she's, like, yada yada yada. So yeah, I really enjoyed reading it the second time around. Is it the best book in the world? No. I do quite like every other character. I just feel like Bella's one of those characters that's like, she has like zero personality, first of all, except for a little bit of smirk, but she was one of those characters that they tried making into a strong female character. And what I mean by that is like, people think strong female characters just are like headstrong, don't listen to anyone, don't take anyone's shit kind of deal. It's a problem when you try to make them that way and it's just like problematic to the story. Like, just sit down. Just sit down and let people take care of you because they're more capable than you. Like, I don't like it when people think strong female character and they automatically assume she's gotta be like annoying about it. Like, you could be a strong, reserved female character and be better written than Bella was. I feel like she's just annoying. Like, sit down. I like Edward. I feel like he's nicely written. Like, their romance is okay. It's not like the greatest love story in the world, but I feel like we lost a lot on just like, because we learned the backstories of each of the Cullens like as the books progress. I just feel like we should have books about those stories instead of Bella, who is just the shiny new toy. By the way, was there a certain point in time where like people were just randomly moving their children in the middle of the school years, and then like, I just feel like that whole trope is kind of unrealistic. I don't know many people that moved at all. Or like, were the new kid. Like, I know it happens, but like, as often as like YA books, like this book was published in like 2005, right? Something like that. And I just read a book published like within the last 2 years, and they like the trope of the new girl that like ends up like with like the most popular group still exists. Like, it's the exact same thing. And it's just weird to me because that doesn't happen in real life. Like, especially if you, I know she goes to like Forks, which is like a small school, so yeah, it makes sense that like she's a little bit of a novelty, but in general, like for it to be a whole like trope, I throw the word trope around. It's not like, I just use the word trope as like an umbrella term. But you know what I mean? Like, most of the time if you're moving to a new school, you might get a little bit of novelty, but that wears off and you find like your own niche group. You don't really like break in, I mean, I guess you could break into like the most popular or like most student council crowd or whatever, like peppy crowd. To be the novelty that Bella is for so long, it's just kind of like she's not that special. She's not even like, she looks like the rest of them. Like, she's pale, like, she doesn't look like she's from Phoenix, so, like, I guess because she didn't grow up with them, and they're like, ooh, new meat, new person that didn't see me go through puberty, so she has no idea how embarrassing I am. But, like, she's pursued by, like, every guy in this book. And for someone with the personality of a gray towel, I just, why? Like, she is not that special, is what I'm saying. And I feel like everyone else was just kind of like, okay, that's nice, honey. Like, she was one of those that just needed to be patronized, because I don't like her character. Her character is not strong. She doesn't have any redeeming qualities. Like, she flies headfirst into danger to make a point. Let's just say that. As far as Edward's behavior in this book, I feel like he's, like, realistic. Like he's had a long time to think about things, long term, but he's also thinking with his, penis. Or, in this case, his thirst. And he, like, falls in love with a human girl, and then the rest of the books, they have to deal with that. It's not as bad. And I'm really shook that it wasn't as bad as I, like, thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be, like, horrible, like, ugh, can't stand this. Like, even the ending, I feel like, was a good ending in that, like, it didn't it did kind of set the tone for, like, a sequel, and stuff like that, but it's also one of those that, like, if it never had a sequel, it wouldn't, like, be a problem. I hate when books are, like, so obviously made to have a sequel. Like, your story should be able to stand on its own without having to buy the next book. Like, I feel like that's such like it's like a Lord of the Rings kind of deal when they split up the movies, or like, I just hate it. Your story should stand on its own, but the possibility of sequels is not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like the ending of this book was like really, like, it did that really well. Like, it set up a possible sequel, but also it was a good enough ending that if there was no sequel, then, like, there's nothing unresolved. So yeah, I do actually have the rest of the series, so if I wanted to, I could do the rest of the series. I don't know, though. I think Twilight's the best out of all of them, and maybe Eclipse. But New Moon and Breaking Dawn are kind of like, no. But if you would like me to do the rest of the series and kind of like my thoughts rereading them as an adult, no, I totally can. Just let me know in the comments down below, and without further ado, I'll see y'all next time. Bye.